Hey everyone, it's time for the Grumpy Guy Show. This is Derek talking about episode number 82. You're not supposed to be here. Recorded on Tuesday, February 14th, 2023. Tonight's topics: it's a low bridge, new statistics to waste time, and has comfort gone too far? Stick around, it's a good episode. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Grumpy Guy Show. I'm Derek McAllister.
And I'm Ryan McAllister.
So, I'm not going to say whether we've got a short episode tonight or a long one. Who knows what it's going to be. We've got 4 different topics. If we hit all of them, okay. If we don't, oh well. But I told you last week it was going to be a little shorter than usual, and it was.
For the first time ever.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was actually down to, but...
It was actually right for once.
Yeah. Well, now you got me curious to see exactly how right I was. Oh, that wasn't that right. 27 and a half
So anyway.
Anyway. So, let's get started.
Alright.
Alright, so you pick one of the topics to start us out with. Which one you want to go with?
Let's go with... How about that massaging driver's seat?
Oh,
that one
yeah.
sounds interesting.
So, this is one that I know I was going to complain about before and just completely forgot. But so, and you know, the commercial came on and I was like, you know, we don't have a whole lot of topics. Let's throw it in there. So apparently, now this is at least with Buick, and of course it's on a General Motors vehicle, which means it's probably on every single one, especially whatever is the equivalent of this Buick. I don't remember which one it was, but so basically, you know, this lady gets in. Oh, that's, you know, her dialogue. Oh, that spin class was so brutal. And then another version of herself in the same car says, "Oh, you should try the Buick massaging seat." And I'm like, she's in the fucking driver's seat. I understand making the seat soft and comfortable, but a massage can put somebody to sleep. That should not be legal in a freaking driver's seat.
For the driver's side.
You know, I get heating and I get cooling because, you know, you need that to be comfortable. A massage, it's going to do more than just make you comfortable. It's going to put you to sleep. It's going to relax you. You know, I don't get it. You know, you get more and more of these cars that are getting these, you know, creature comfort things. And it's like, at what point do we stop adding these things so that people do what they're in the driver's seat to do? Drive. I mean,
I think they're just preparing us for when we're not allowed to drive anymore, when we have to use driverless vehicles.
Yeah, well, the only problem there is they're having a difficult time, especially when you start talking about conditions like heavy rain or snowstorms.
Oh, I know.
You know,
I know.
And they're also going to have a problem in the situation of a dust storm. And where they're going to really truly have problems is the fact that you can't force people to buy a driverless vehicle, which means somebody like me who doesn't want a driverless vehicle is still
you
going
won't
to be
be
driving.
able to buy it. You won't be able to buy it. You have to subscribe to it.
Yeah.
You don't own anything anymore.
Yeah, that is the direction we're going, but the problem is you can't force somebody to subscribe to a driverless vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as long as I still own a vehicle that requires me to drive, you can't stop me from driving it. You know, and they're going to have a difficult time actually getting this through because there are so many people that do not trust driverless cars. And as far as
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned, do not trust them with good reason. You know, I'm not going to say that they haven't gotten better, but they're still a long ways out from being safer than a driver.
Yeah.
You know, and truthfully, and this is something that they don't want you to know or think about, truthfully speaking, and I completely forgot what the hell I was talking about. Oh my goodness. So, well, that's just gone.
Anywho,
Yeah. But anyhow, so driverless, yeah, okay, it's a great concept. Oh, that's what it was. So the problem is with a driverless car, the computer that's controlling it is only as good as is only as good a driver as the programmer creating the program.
mm-hmm.
Because if the programmer creating it sucks as a driver, guess what? It's going to suck as a driver.
Yep.
It's going to make the same decisions that programmer would make.
Bad ones.
Yeah. And the whole thing is, you talk to civil engineers who study this stuff, and they're going to tell you that traffic jams should never occur. Okay, well, you're not taking into account the human factor. You get all kinds of people who think they deserve to be out in front, or that sign saying the lane is closed ahead doesn't apply to me. You know, they think along those lines, and that's what causes traffic jams. And you're going to get these programmers that think that way, and they don't actually program the car to say, okay, I really truly need to move over because that sign there said the lane closes. It's not going to happen. It's unfortunate, but as long as humans are involved in some way, shape, or form, there's going to be problems. And the fact that, we're going to give everybody massaging seats, it's just going to get even worse.
Yep.
And some of the creature comforts that I'm talking about also go right down to things that require you to take your eyes off the road. And I think we've talked about it before. Touchscreen for everything.
Yeah.
You get a Tesla and they've got this humongous touchscreen. There are no physical knobs in there.
I can't remember what company it was, but one company connects their cars to Twitter, meaning that you don't even need your phone to use Twitter while you're driving.
Yeah. It's just it's ridiculous, and stuff like that. We're an overly connected society now. That's all you can say about it.
Mm.
There's no reason that you need to be connected 24/7. You look at me compared to you. You're always staring at your phone, whether it's Reddit or Twitter, whatever, I don't know, but you're always staring at it.
Yep.
With me, I can put it down. I could turn it off for hours at a time if I really truly wanted to, and it's not going to bother me. In fact, when I go out riding, I if I'm on the road, I go for a full tank of gas between stops for the most part. So you're talking a couple hours of riding where the only thing that's happening with my phone is it's playing music or it's giving me directions. I'm not doing anything other than that. And there's people that are even worse than what you are when it comes to
Oh
being on their
yeah, I know
phone.
there are plenty of people that are worse than me.
And it's really really sad. And unfortunately,
It really is.
it's become kind of expected by employers that you're going to do whatever they want you to do. You're going to stare at your phone. You're going to be ready at their beck and call. The only ones that are not are those that are paid hourly, because if you're paid hourly and they call you, they have to pay you. So that's just a little thing that anybody people like you, consider that when you're thinking about a career. Consider that, because trades, there's a lack of people going into trades right now. Everybody seems to want to go to college because they want to work Monday through Friday, and all that. Well, you go to college, more than likely you're going to be a salaried employee, which means you are paid for the job. Excuse me. You're paid for the job. You're paid to do a job. You're not paid at an hourly rate.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you're in a trade, you're going to be paid hourly until you get to the point where you're a supervisor. It's just something to think about. But at any rate, I don't even know how we got onto that topic.
I'm just going to use this as an excuse to blame TikTok.
Yeah, there you go. Blame TikTok. Blame somebody else. Yeah, well. All right, so pick another one.
Hang on, I got it on my phone. I had it sitting off to the side, so I'm.
Oh, I see how it is. See, since you're not
How
actually
about
recording, you should have this window kind of minimized so that you can see it in the background.
making up statistics?
Making up statistics. Oh, brand new one for tonight. So we're sitting there.
Some might be surprised that that's brand new.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is and it isn't. I just added it today because we were sitting there watching the news, and the weather, the forecast segment comes on. And because they're trying to make the forecast segment different every single time they come on, they're coming up with more and more statistics to show you.
Mm-hmm.
So this latest one that they showed us was, on average, we have 66 inches of snow, or we have 66 days where there's at least an inch of snow on the ground in central New York. And this year we've only had 20 something, and last year it was only this. I'm like, okay, so this proves nothing, but it's also something that you're just making up now. And the worst part is, they were showing this map of New York State that has at least an inch of snow cover, and Syracuse doesn't have any. And I'm like, all right, yeah. And then they're showing our area as having at least an inch, and I'm like, we don't have any snow. I look out the window, I see the grass. And it's not like I'm seeing the grass through snow. I'm seeing the grass. The only place there's any snow is where it's piled up from the plow going through. It's like, where are you getting these measurements from? You're just pulling them out of your ass.
I was going to say, definitely just pulling them out of your ass.
And the thing with it is,
maybe they're pulling them out of a hole in the ground.
Yeah. They're just guessing in the past, because this wasn't something they ever measured before. So they're just guessing. Oh, yeah, well, we'll just look at it and say, yeah, this is what it was. How do you know?
You don't.
I mean, sure, maybe we had 60 inches of snow. That doesn't mean that for 60 days we had at least an inch of snow on the ground. You look at earlier this year, we got like 1.5 feet of snow, and then 3 days later it was all gone. Not just a little bit gone. Everything was gone except for the snow piles. I mean, so that kind of leads back to, why the hell do we have an hour and a half long local news? They just cover the same exact stories 3 separate times.
Over again.
And what makes it worse is now they're starting with an additional half an hour from 4 to 4:30.
What makes it worse is that the world news only gets a half an hour.
Yeah, so we get a total of 2 hours of coverage of local news, and then it goes to the world news for a half an hour, and it's like,
And then it goes to entertainment stuff.
yeah, I truly think that half of it comes down to the fact that writers don't know what to do out in Hollywood anymore, so they're not coming up with any good sitcoms or anything like that to fill the time. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody, more and more people have stopped watching soap operas, and there's only so many reruns that I can watch, and I'm sure there's plenty of other people that are, in the same boat. How many times can you watch the same exact episode of a show before you say, I've had enough of the show?
It's a very good question.
And of course, some of it is also that these, these broadcast companies, they want the shows that are on their channel to mirror what they push for a political agenda. For
And a
example,
lot of these broadcasters just play the same show over and over again.
yeah, but
Different episodes of the same show.
you look at
For the longest time, Nickelodeon's had that problem with SpongeBob.
yeah, but you look at
And FXX, I believe it's called, literally plays The Simpsons and nothing else, I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
I have never seen anything while scrolling through channels. Anytime I see that channel, it's always The Simpsons and nothing else.
yeah, and like I was saying, you look at these broadcast companies, and they want shows that follow their opinion, their political opinion. You look at Last Man Standing. It ran on ABC for a long time. Once Big Bang Theory ended, Last Man Standing became the number one comedy. And they tried to kill it off by moving it to a less popular time, but it continued to be number one. So then they just said, okay, well, we're not going to renew it. That's it. They couldn't justify it. And it was all because Tim Allen didn't follow along with what they wanted. He was very
Mm-hmm.
he was very Republican, and he was very much against Barack Obama. And that wasn't what Disney wanted, so they canceled it.
Yep.
And funny thing, Fox picked it back up, and wow, it became the number one series again. The number one comedy series. Huh. And then the whole snafu happened where Fox got bought out by who? Oh, Disney.
Disney.
So this time it was, Mike.
Except for news and sports.
Yeah, so this time it was Tim Allen decided that it was time to end the show.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly. I'm like, come on, this is ridiculous. But I mean, so that leads us to stupid statistics that really truly mean absolutely nothing. Just because I gotta make crap up.
Yep.
So, what do you say we go on to another topic?
Sure.
All right, I'll pick this one. So there's somebody who was recently arrested in downtown Syracuse because
Mm-hmm.
because she was in a pizza place and she stole the tip jar.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was, like I said, it was in downtown Syracuse, and they actually have a significant foot patrol down there. Because they want
Yep.
to make it a safe place so that people feel comfortable going down there. So, a few officers were keeping her from leaving while another officer went in and reviewed the security footage. Well, she ended up spitting on one of the officers. And
Oh.
yeah, and most
Nasty.
everything was caught on video, because several of the officers had body cams on. And the Syracuse Police Department released it, and it was clear that something happened, whether she spit or what, I don't know. You can't necessarily tell because, it's going to be, I mean, it was dark, but beyond that, everybody's wearing dark clothing. And then, you've got the television station is going to compress it and whatever. So you can't necessarily tell. And they aren't playing the audio with it either. But so so she gets arrested, like, and she was fighting with the cop as he's trying to arrest her. Not saying that he didn't do a little bit more than what he should have as far as being rough, but at the same time, she was in his face. She was yelling at him, and it looks like she spit on him. And she got a cut, and suddenly she's come out with a lawyer, and over this tip jar. Keep in mind, folks, this is a tip jar.
Mm-hmm.
She's suing for $21 million.
Why?
Oh, I lost consciousness, and I returned the tip jar when I didn't take any money. Nobody's going to know whether you took money or not because nobody counts the tip jar. It's there. People put money in as a tip. I mean, again, we've talked about it. Not me, but people do. And it's like she's suing because, number one, she claims that she was unconscious. And number two,
not sure if I believe that.
Well, she claims that she was knocked unconscious while he was trying to cuff her. Which, funny that, right after they take her down to the ground and put cuffs on her, they show her walking to the police car. They weren't carrying her. She was walking.
Well, what do you know?
Not to the police car, I'm sorry, to the ambulance, because they did bang her head on a window or something like that when they were putting her up against the wall. So she had a cut. So, they were taking her to an ambulance. And she was so violent that they actually had to give her a sedative to calm her down. And she says, "Oh, and that caused me major trauma." Her lawyer's listing all this stuff off, and she's sitting in a wheelchair for no apparent reason, because it's not like they did anything to her that would cause her to suddenly be in a wheelchair. But she's in a wheelchair, and the whole time her lawyer's talking about suing the city for $21 million, she's sitting there with a big old smirk on her face. And I'm like, really? So she thinks this is a joke because now she's going to end up getting national attention for it. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that these police officers are really in the right all the time, but, they're trying to do a job and protect themselves while they're doing it. And, these criminals are doing things, and some people aren't thinking along the lines of, these are criminals. Them being criminals doesn't justify killing them or hospitalizing them unless it's absolutely necessary. But at the same time, if she would have said, "Hey, you know what? I'll wait here while you review the video and make sure you continue to review it until you see me return the tip jar." If she just said that, stood there, and left it at that, and then he smashed her head up against the wall or whatever, okay, then I'd have a problem. But the fact that she was fighting with him, screaming at him, and then when he tried to arrest her, she fought back even harder. He's got a duty to protect the public. And having somebody screaming and yelling and violent like that, he's got to put her in handcuffs because that's his
He
duty.
does.
But it's like, come on, people. And of course, the stupid lawyer, and he wasn't wearing a body cam like it's required part of his uniform. Oh, wait a minute. No. It's not
Yes, he
required.
was.
No, he wasn't. The actual
Oh, he
arresting
wasn't?
officer was not.
Oh.
And, it's been. So, there's two parts to that. First part, it is not required. It is not required by the state, by the feds, or by the city, or the county. Plain and simple, it is not required. The second part, he was actually doing extra duty. Normally, the group that he's in does not have a lot of interaction with the public. That's why he doesn't have a camera assigned to him. But there were several other officers right there that had cameras going. How do you think we got the footage? I'm just like, oh my God. So this lawyer is just like, he's making crap up, just to get attention. And it's just, it's getting really bad, sooner or later. And more than likely, she's going to get money out of this. She's not going to get $21 million, because she's going to
They're
have...
going to settle out of court.
I don't know that they can actually do that. Because
Everything's settled out of court.
No, again, I'm not sure they can actually do it because she's suing the city. So I don't know that the city can settle out of court in this case because it's not a criminal lawsuit against the city. It's I don't know. I mean, I'm far from a lawyer or any kind of legal expert, but
Yep.
But I'm just like, enough. And she's probably going to get something out of it. She's not going to get $21 million because as hard a time as, the city is going to have proving that she wasn't unconscious and, all this other stuff, she's got to prove to them, she's got to prove to a judge as well. It in part because the city is the defendant. And the way that the justice system works is it's up to the prosecution to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. It's not up to the defense to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. The defense's job is to actually provide reasonable doubt. That much I know. But at any rate, this kind of thing it's just going to get worse and worse, And you get more and more people, oh, we need to get rid of these cops. Well, if we didn't have people constantly doing things like this, we wouldn't need police. But that's never going to happen. And they say, oh, well, we need police reform. Well, to a point, yeah, but we also need people reform.
And that's never going to happen.
No. We need people to grow up and realize that, cops are the way they are because they're people. They're getting attacked.
They're just as stupid as the rest of us.
Yeah, I mean, they get attacked, they go into defensive mode. That's the way it is. Anyhow. So what do you say we hit this last topic real quick?
Sure, what's this last one?
All right, so anybody from the Syracuse area knows about the Onondaga Lake Parkway Bridge. The bridge that is... Yes, you do. Lying sack of crap. So the bridge is very low. It's a railroad bridge that crosses over the parkway. And it's so low, I don't remember exactly what it is. I think it's only like 10 feet high or something like that. At any rate, many, many years it's been going on where tractor trailers hit the bridge.
Ruh-roh.
So another one hit the bridge recently. And I just kind of look over at my notes. But one of the anchors on the local news said, when is something going to be done about this? As if this is some kind of new phenomenon or something like that. There's like 70 warning signals before the bridge that say, hey, this is a short ridge up here. You might want to turn around. It is illegal for commercial vehicle traffic on that highway. Yet they keep going. Every single map out there tells truckers to go around. Why? Because no commercial traffic is allowed. And these people keep hitting it. And I'm not kidding you. I believe the actual count is 66 signs and warning signals, each direction leading up to the bridge.
Wow.
And these people miss it. But on top of all of that,
that's impressive.
The side of the bridge is painted in bright, reflective orange.
That makes it even funnier.
And then right in the middle of it, it's got the sign that says it's only this high. So that's 67 signs. I mean, come on. How much more can we do? We can't do anything without doing something, way ahead where it actually hits the truck and says, hey, stupid.
That might be what we have to do.
Yeah, and, the problem then is it would be on the county. The county would be forced into paying for the repairs on these trucks. Even though the trucks aren't supposed to be there in the first place, the county or the state or whatever would have to actually pay for these trucks to be repaired because, well, your sign damaged my truck. Okay, but you're not supposed to be on here.
You're not supposed to be there. So, your fault.
They supposedly have some kind of laser system, that sets off a detector. The problem is, anything like that, as soon as something crosses that path, and they actually admitted it, something, including a bird, crosses that path, it sets off the alarms. So how good is that system? Not very.
Not at all.
You have to, even snow has set it off. So,
Wow.
The whole thing is, basically, it's a laser that points across to a reflector, or it's either a reflector or a receiver on the other side. And as soon as, it's probably a receiver. As soon as a receiver loses the signal of the laser, hey, something crossed over there. That's all they can do. So, yeah, it could be snow, it could be rain, it could be a bird, it could be anything. But, I don't know. Yeah. Well,
but hey, what do I know?
Yeah. All right, folks, you probably heard the music starting up.
That means good night.
We'll see you.